deep into this arc, I think we're going to be getting some major lore of the devils. A lot just to kind of give us a much needed explanation of what it's like over in their realm. And Nosh is a perfect candidate for that. And I really, really, really am hoping that through him and whatever knowledge of devils he has, as well as this little devil that he's got on his shoulder, that we're able to actually find out somewhat about them. Because they're mysterious as hell. I mean, obviously, like, we only know a couple devils. We only know a fraction of what what their deal is, what they're like. Now we have this one that seems to be, with Nash, seems to, work with him. So there has to be a level of difference in how the devils see things in general, because like clearly the higher up ones, as we've seen, just want to bring about this crazy apocalypse like stuff going on. So maybe the lower level devils are more reasonable. I'm really hoping we end up getting, we hope we get some form of hierarchy explained to us within the next chapter. And after everything going on recently, like I don't think anybody would really want to otherwise argue that it's not something that we need. I mean, it's definitely something that I think we need more than ever after the little big reveal of what Dante's planning, what the Spade is doing, and what in general is just to come up in Black Clover. So this next chapter, I'm really hoping we get some information just on the Devil's Society. It doesn't have to be a full lore detail of just 16 pages of text, but I would really like to get information on, like, well, why is this devil okay with Nosh? Well, maybe does he know anything about Asta's devil? What about the circumstances that they're in right now that they're okay with working with humans? Is there other devils that are on their side that are against, like, the higher up devils or something? Like, there's just a lot of questions when it comes to what these devils are about that is what I'm more interested in seeing, because we're gonna get in general, like, okay, we're gonna get like a progression of what's going on between the other kingdoms, how they're gonna recover over the heavy losses that they just had from the Spade Kingdom. There's gonna be some training, get stronger. We're gonna get some information from the anti-magic devil, I imagine, at some point, and just the level of info dump that we're going to be getting soon is going to be pretty big, I imagine. But the thing for me, more than anything, that I really want to find out, I mean, besides the anti-magic devil's name, but that's something that, yeah, who knows how long it's going to be until we find out. Maybe next chapter, maybe it's not for another arc or two. But I really want to, and I believe that in the next chapter, we're going to be getting some information about the devil's hierarchy, because that's something that I think that we need right now. Especially, like I said, after given the information that there is definitely some form of lower level of devils that are looked down upon by the higher ups, but also we know that from Zagrid that there is some form of hierarchy system with the devils in place, and who knows how many there are as well, because the fact that Zagrid was kind of like astonished at the anti-magic devil tells us that he didn't know who he was. So I feel like that tells us, oh yeah, there's gonna be like a big deal. The fact that he didn't know who this guy was at all, like it can't just be, oh yeah, he just was like, oh, I don't know who this guy is. It was like he was shocked that he didn't know a devil of this caliber. So when we get to this point, I think that there's going to be some big critical key components of this art just kind of like laid out. Even in finding out just basic information about like the devil's opinions on things. Like I said, because this devil looks like the one that's on Nosh looks small. I mean, obviously it looks small, but like it seems to be a lower level one. If you go back and look at the panel where they were like revealing the plan of bringing over the devils and stuff, there were small devils like this. So I'm wondering if like a lesser level of devils are more okay with people. Like maybe if they're oppressed by the higher devils, they're like, you know what, no, no, fuck those guys. We don't want them around here anyway. We're okay, not having these dudes here. So maybe you guys can do us a favor. Like they're trying to be like, yeah, if we can just get rid of those other ones, then we'll help you guys, because Nosh clearly has a level of understanding and cooperation with the devils, and the fact that it's not just like, hey, I know about devils, but he's like, I'm gonna teach you how to use devil's power. That just says, yeah, he has some form of higher level experience and knowledge of just what the devils are doing, what they're like, and what they can kind of like provide than any of the other characters. And it's not as just like straight simple as like, oh yeah, he's got it. He's he just knows what he knows. It's like, no, he's clearly got a devil working with him. So there's going to be a big reveal on how he did this, where he's been. Why has he been away from the Black Bulls? Why did they not talk about him? There's a lot of mystery coming up that I'm really excited to see just kind of worked into the story, and plot points that we've had existent finally get revealed. Like I said, like the Black Bulls Vice Captain Nosh has actually been, like, he was the last one shown in that silhouette that we hadn't seen way back when the Black Bulls were first introduced. We've seen his shoes a couple of times. We know that Tabata has had him existent and acknowledged within the series, but we just didn't get him up until now. So there has to obviously be some form of reason of him being like, oh, well, maybe it was a spec op mission, or maybe him and Yami don't get along, so they don't talk about him, or maybe a lot of the Black Bulls just never met him because of that. That's kind of like how a lot of them didn't know Henry until recently, because Henry was kind of, keeping to himself, whereas maybe Nosh was kind of just somebody that they wanted to keep secret. Like I said, like maybe he was doing like some form of spec op mission. I mean, he definitely seems like a sneakier kind of character, somebody who's more stealth than just like straight attack and do whatever. Anyway, yeah, I think that's for the most part what we need next chapter. I mean, there's a high chance that we could get some direct. Honestly, I was gonna say that we could get some like skewed away and see some other character doing stuff, but I feel like after the Nosh reveal and just in general, and then him telling Asta he's gonna teach him about devil powers and stuff and how to use them and control them, I think he has to take precedence over any of the other characters next chapter, just because it's such an important like setup at the end of that it has to at least have some follow up of just being like, oh, I've been working with my devil for X amount of time, and there's a difference over in their realm. They don't actually all like the other devils. Some of them are okay with people. Stuff like that. Like I can see that, like lower level ones probably just not really having this superiority complex over humans, and they're just like, listen, man, we just want to not get killed by the other devils. We don't got beef. Anyway, other than that though, comment below. Thumbs up the video from the like button, subscribe button, and check out my other videos. But other than that, I appreciate everybody's already subscribed. And I thank you all for listening. Bye.